Today I fucked up because I hung out with my guy best friend at 3 a.m. At 2 a.m. I, 18F, get a text from my guy best friend, 20 meters, asking if I was awake, to which I responded yes. We then just proceeded to update each other on our lives ATM. I'm currently having issues with my boyfriend and told him that. He tells me he wants to get out of the house and I tell him I want to do the same. He tells me he can pick me up and we can go to the park and I'm like that's perfect, I have a chance to clear my head. That's where I fucked up, I shouldn't have gone. By the time he gets to my house it's around 3 a.m. We go to a park because I wanted to swing but it's too dark, and then we go to the gas station and he buys me snacks, and then we go to the park by his house, no swings by the way. Since there were no swings we just sat in the car talking like normal and we even play music. At this point his seat is leaning back and he looks at me and asks me if I want to do it. I look at him and laugh because he had to be joking, right? No, he was serious. I told him what the fuck YK I have a boyfriend, and he said well you guys are having problems anyways. I was in shock. He looked salty I said no and I was salty that he even asked. He let me drive his car home. I was hurt and disgusted and didn't tell my boyfriend until 5 p.m., to which he proceeded to be mad at me because I should have told him earlier. Too long did not read. Today I fucked up by agreeing to take a ride with my guy best friend at 3 a.m. which led him to think I wanted to have sex with him. Edit, update. A lot of you would be happy to know my boyfriend and I aren't together anymore. It is not due to this, it is due to a lot of past problems that we haven't solved. Both of us were too immature for an actual relationship and we both are at fault for many different things. It sucks though because this is the first person I truly ever loved, and you guys are going to be like how could you love him you're 18? Honestly to answer your question IDK but I do know that I have done and would still do anything to make him happy. I don't even know what to say. I also want to answer a lot of questions. I honestly thought it was strictly platonic between me and the ex-friend. I am no longer friends with that person. I don't know what else to write right now my head is so fuzzy RN and I am currently bawling my eyes out lol. I'll make another update tomorrow. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Oh man, I remember being young and naive. Thinking those wide texts at 2 a.m. would lead me on a magical midnight adventure where we would lie under the stars and have deep conversations about life. Ha 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 ha. Edit. You guys, I'm not saying those kinds of moments don't or won't ever happen. Nor am I trying to say you can't have friends of the opposite sex without one party expecting something more from the other, haha. I've had those moments, and have a handful of platonic guy friends that wouldn't do that. But as a girl you do kind of just learn to be more cautious of the intentions behind those late night texts depending on the person. Which sucks a little maybe, but it's just one of those things. He was thinking something else when you said you wanted to swing. Right when I read he bought you snacks I was like he's going for it. Rookie mistake. Saw it coming from a mile away. Updating each other's lives at 2 a.m. Bingo. Sweetie. When a man calls you at 2 a.m., it's a booty call. Today I fucked up buying weed in a bikini. Today I fucked up buying weed in a bikini. So happened last week actually. I, F18, was hanging out with a friend's son bathing at the park last week and we decided to buy some grass and smoke up. So I MSG my usual guy and he comes like 15 million later. I get to exit the park and collect but my friend got lazy and refused to join. Didn't think much of it at the time but in hindsight prob not a good idea to meet a drug dealer in a bikini. I spot his car and walk towards him. As soon as I sit in the passenger seat, I look over and he had his dick out in his hand. He offers to give it for free in return for a blowjob, but I kindly refused and just wanted to leave ASAP. We transact and as I get up to leave and am off my seat, he leans over and grabs my bikini bottoms and pulls them down aggressively. I was shocked but continued trying to leave. He eventually let go and spanked me on my ass. I quickly ran off back to the park and haven't told my friend or anyone about this incident. TLR bought weed in a bikini and my dealer did sexually assault me. Edit. As some have mentioned, this actually was sexual assault. I guess because I thought it could have been much worse that this wasn't sexual assault. But the more I think of it, the worse I feel and feel objectified. Thanks for all the support. Honestly thought this was going to be I didn't know where to hide my illegal item, post. So much worse. Sorry op. You mean ex-dealer? Tried to? Sounds like he just did. I would tell all my friends that buy from him that he did that. Trust me, he'll hear about it and regret it. But People can hold grudges, and if he's bold enough to do that, then be careful in the future. That'd make a great anonymous tip to the police. Hello officer, I was buying my drugs from, insert dealer's name here. And he sexually assaulted me by exposing himself and tearing my clothes off. Sexual assault isn't a laughing matter, but I'm sure they'd have fun going after him with a tip like that. I think you're too long did not read. Is supposed to say, drug dealer tried to sexually harass me but sexually assaulted me. Today I fucked up by wrapping myself in my blanket like a burrito. It was like 3 a.m. and I was bored, so I wrapped myself in my blanket like a burrito. Roll around while holding the edges. I rolled over, and this was where I made the mistake. My bed is in the corner of my room, and there is a gap between the wall and my bed. When I rolled over, I fell into the crack and realized I was stuck. The bed was too low to roll over, and out from under the bed, and I was wrapped too tightly to get my hand out. I also couldn't get my hands out because I was being squeezed between my wall and bed frame. I tried to lift my bed open with my legs, but it was too heavy. It took 10 minutes until I could barely get my hand out. I had to move the heavy items out of under my bed, so I could pull myself out. After this, I was completely terrified, and couldn't sleep because I was shaking so hard. Ema just put Switch Player Classic so I get credit if someone screenshots the story. Too long did not read. I wrapped myself in a blanket like a burrito. I fell in the crack between my bed and wall, and got stuck for 10 minutes before I escaped. Edit. I live with my family, so there was no real danger. IG. 6 o'clock news. Redditor found dead trapped between bed and wall, dead for 3 months before being discovered. GIF. Giphy, 2WDHACZMQSKRWMIGWP. My mans, you alright? Lol. I was thinking if it were me cause of death. Asphyxiation by burrito. OMG. One time something like that happened to my son when he was little, and as I was pulling him out from being budged, I was laughing so hard. It was hilarious. I'm glad you're okay. Push the bed towards the wall or away from it, or maybe get a life alert. This reminds me of the story I heard yesterday. Woman, presumably, tried to reach something behind a bookshelf, got stuck upside down and died that way. Her family was searching for 2 weeks before noticing a bad smell and finding her. Well, now I'm scared I'm about to do the same thing. I did this when I was probably 5 or 6, but the entire blanket engulfed me. It was probably one of the scariest moments of my life that I can recall today. It took me a few minutes to get free, but I would never again do that ever in my life. Maybe that's why I developed a fear of small enclosed places, especially places where I can be locked in. Today I fucked up by mimicking a Reddit post. Now my girlfriend won't stop harassing me. This actually happened last night, but I found a post on r/relationship_advice where someone's boyfriend kept calling them horrible pet names. Irk. Things like Little Stubby and Sour Meat. Just dumb names. The one in question was Tony Pizza. Apparently they hated it. The boyfriend kept calling them Tony Pizza, and they took to Reddit for advice on how to get him to stop. Well, I thought this was hilarious. Tony Pizza is such a bad pet name. But of course, because me think like rock, I wanted to mess with my girlfriend and start calling her Tony Pizza. I just tossed it out casually at first. She gave me an odd look, gave me a fake courtesy giggle, but didn't think much of it until I kept using it. Of course I had to use pizza puns too, just to drive it home. She started to get confused and frustrated, but I just kept saying things like, "Whoa Tony Pizza. Don't burn your crust. DAAAMN Tony Pizza. Come gimme those pepperonis," and spanking her butt, etc. At one point she angrily blurts out, "That sounds like a cartoon mob boss." I'm not a cartoon. And this is where shit started to backfire. She turned the tables and started grabbing my belly. I'm a chubby dude, and my petite girlfriend grabbing a handful of my gut is just uncomfortable. I don't like it but fair. Poking me in the ribcage to make me flinch, and started telling me she's going to make me sleep with the fishes. She's even embraced the name at one point. She grabbed my toes, tickled my feet, and lolly proclaimed, "I'm Tony Pizza motherfucker, time to break your kneecaps." Just really leaning into it now, but not in a way I would have predicted. She keeps telling me about cement shoes and grabbing my toes. I had to swat her away from my gut and feet the whole night. So, I caved. I stopped with the Tony Pizza nonsense, but she hasn't. I've created a cartoon mob boss who's hellbent on making me miserable, and I regret that stupid name. This morning, I wake up to her pulling on my toes, quoting Goodfellas, "I'm funny how? Like I'm a clown? Do I amuse you? It just hasn't stopped, man. I foresee a relationship advice thread of my own if this continues." Too long did not read. Saw a post on Reddit of someone being called Tony Pizza as a pet name. I decided to call my girlfriend that to see how she'd react. She didn't like it at first, but has now embraced the name and is slowly evolving into a mob boss, threatening to make me sleep with the fish, break my kneecaps, grabbing my gut, pulling my toes, etc. I stopped, but she hasn't, and it's getting annoying now. To be clear, neither one of us is upset by this. My girlfriend is having fun messing with me, I'm having fun messing with her, being messed with. Everyone is fine, everyone. You did this to yourself. You've created a monster. And what's worse is she's better at it than you. I cannot wait to see how this plays out. This should have been the exact outcome you expected. And honestly, it's best case scenario. She sounds cool. Have fun with it, she will tire of it soon enough. Tell her the local police will be stopping by to discuss local mob activity, and in particular, they wanted to speak to her. I am howling, your girlfriend is a damn gem. You can always have your tummy take on a persona, like Tina the Talking Tummy. Make your tummy be another mob character or even the wife of Tony Pizza. She's every right to continue it for the same length you did. Fair is fair.